Man, a gratifying win today for our team. That's a happy group of young men in that locker room, and a lot of smiles, and I appreciate the trust that they've placed in me, embracing a new approach. I appreciate the resiliency and the men they're becoming, because this is not easy, and they faced a lot of challenges today, ups and downs and in betweens, and I think there'll be more of those until we gain maturity and execution and consistency. But I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of how they've hung together. I'm really thankful for the 14 families that came all the way across the country to believe that this could be a great football program. And I'm certainly not saying we've arrived, but it's a nice start today. Really impressed with Kurt Bankert and the resiliency of our team. And so with that, I'll take whatever specific questions everybody has.
I know it probably would have been better for your heart had the game not gotten tight, but is there any added value for a team
Sure.
to have to fight through that kind of adversity on the way to winning?
And I think there is. I would prefer not to, but it's amazing how it can look so easy and then look so difficult in the same game and same stretches. But to have it look easy and look difficult and then find a way to regain poise, momentum, and confidence to then execute enough to win the game against the team that went on the road and beat a pretty good other team. I'm impressed. And there's a chance that there'll be more of these type of games for all of us. Yeah, I better get some rest.
Bronco, can you talk about how big the stop was on 3rd and 11?
Oh, man.
And then the details of the ensuing 82-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, I'll tell you as much as I can remember, but they were driving and they had momentum, and there was a stretch there we were having a hard time stopping them in the pass game. Juan Thornhill got hurt the very first play of the game, and he's been one of our best defensive players to this point this year. And so Miles Robinson stepped up, and Kareem Gibson, and so Central Michigan was having some success running the ball, but really the things that were very difficult to stop, they were having some success on 3rd down throwing it, and then some big plays. And so to be able to execute, we had just enough calls to last the game. We had a few new calls that we saved right to the end, and just a different look got us out of 3rd down, and that was, essential.
Bronco, the last moments there, you shared a pretty long hug with Coach Ruff. What was being said right then and there?
Just that we love each other and we're glad to be working together, and we have a pretty special friendship that's been formed over a relatively short amount of time. And he's been a head coach, and he knows what that's like. It's hard to know unless you've kind of been in that seat, and that doesn't mean better or worse or more important or less important, but he gets it. And so that he came over, meant a lot to me.
Hey, Bronco, we can only see from the press box posture and stuff. Was there a time when they were coming back that you guys kind of maybe drifted into that Richmond thing?
Sure.
And did it take a big play to get him out of it, or did somebody say something?
No, there isn't anything that can be said at that time. It has to be actions, and it wasn't the Richmond thing, but it was a relative. It was the second cousin, maybe. One that you visit occasionally, but you don't want to be there very often. It was like that, and I felt it, and we're not immune yet from that being past history, and I'm not sure the stadium was. It seemed like there was a cultural, I don't know if you all could feel it, but it seemed to me like there was this cultural, well, we know what this looks like, kind of, and I felt that, and man, my neck it was just like pressing down, and so we're we're fighting that as hard as we can, but you have to be able to battle through it enough times to give a new normal, and hopefully this will start that. But yeah, it wasn't Richmond, but it was a relative.
Was there a point this season or this month where the coaches made a conscious decision to get the ball to Alameda?
Yeah.
Or
So what we learned, I think it was in our opener, is that because I had suspended Alameda for the first half of that game, and just simply when he came back the second half, it was, it's O. And we're becoming much clearer, not clear yet, and this is for the entire team, clearer as to which players get the ball in what formations and what plays. And so we're literally personnelling everything, from blitzes to runs to passes. And when the roster is not extremely deep, then you try to use as many different players in the roles they can be used in to the best of their ability to give them success and have our team have success. And he's one of those players.
Coach, you've talked about maybe the pressure you felt when they got tied at 28, coming back. And I know it's your first win. You've seen these so many times before. But when you walked into that locker room to go and face those men that you talked about and finally say, we won after all you've been through, just what was that feeling as soon as you hit the locker room?
Oh, man. Just sheer joy. They and what, as a leader, what's happening is they were waiting for me to come in like it was a big deal to them to celebrate for me as well, and I couldn't wait to celebrate for them, and so it was that's gratifying when it meant a lot for them to make me feel special and vice versa. Yeah, it's one of those things that I won't forget ever.
Coach,
Anything
they got the big start, got back, and they came back in, and obviously at the end they're executing the way that they did. You're learning about your team every week. What did you learn today in terms of how they handled that type of flux?
Wow. What I learned, I would say, is that there are players emerging on the sideline that are offensive players when the defense is out there, and defensive players when the offense is out there, that are going up and down the sideline and rallying the team, saying we need everybody. And so they are learning leadership. So in terms of what I'm learning that they're learning how to be a team member and a leader and put others first. And because they realize that this is not about any one individual, and nor can it ever be here and through this transition. And so I think they're maturing, is what I think. And I want to be really clear with everyone. We have not arrived, and there's plenty of work still ahead, and plenty still to learn, but on the verge of having two of these feelings now, and hopefully more to come.
Did you, after Kurt gave up the pick six, did you have any conversation with him and just talk about he broke the school passing yardage record, and what does that say?
Man, two things. No, I didn't have any conversation with them. Credit the Central Michigan player and the coaches. They put a nice call in that was executed perfectly at the right time. And there were two plays that really triggered the adversity in my mind. That was one of them, and the stop and go right before the half. I mean, so those two giant plays really changed. I mean, without that, there probably wasn't as much of this feeling that we're talking about. But what we learned is the threshold for us is really thin right now, and we're on the verge of those things happening more frequently than what any of us want. But those two plays really came, in the form of those two plays came this roller coaster today. So back to Kurt, he's a good player. But more than that, to break a school record is not something to take lightly, nor was it our intent for him to break the school record. You know, I don't pay attention to those things, but he's an amazing student. So he came to us as an A student. He came to us as someone that loves football. He came to us as someone that wants to lead a team, and that really is no maintenance. And when you talk about quarterbacks in our day and age, that's pretty uncommon. and he's doing a really nice job. And he is what I want at UVA: a good player, a good student, a good person, and someone that can do it all. And he's learning and maturing. And this is his 4th start, and to break a school record in 4 starts as a college athlete, that's pretty remarkable.
Bronco, how unique is his arm? Because it seems like he just, when he throws on the money, it's like even that ball he threw to Zacchaeus for the big play, it's like a laser.
Yeah. I saw about 100 of those in fall camp against us, and I just was anxious to see it against somebody else. From the first day on, Coach Beck and Coach and I came off the practice field, and they were just almost giggling, and they were talking about basically the throws and the potential he has to deliver the football, and really the number of throws he can make. And it's basically every throw. There's some of those throws that are outcuts that are on the sideline that, I mean, sometimes just not common sense to throw that, and yet he throws it, and our guys catch it, and he's a special talent.
On that big play, people in the press box, people in front of the press box were saying run because he had rolled left and had all kinds of room in front of him. And then
He doesn't want to run, and I don't want him to.
Bronco, you weren't shy in kind of your what you saw from Cooper Rush on film study and his experience and everything like that. Even when he got up 28-0, did you know that with all the experience on that side of the ball, including him obviously leading the charge, that there was a chance that they could get back in this game pretty quickly? What did you have to do to adjust to him maybe late in the game?
Well, it wasn't so much adjusting to him; it was adjusting to not having Juan Thornhill, and that changes things. And we started trying to roll coverages and address this corner or protect this corner. And even in some of the big sets, we were dropping 8 and just trying to at least have Central Michigan have to be a little bit more methodical than having the ball, as we saw quickly go over our head. And again, our margin for error right now defensively is pretty thin, and so we have to be right on the money, or big plays can happen. And we're putting longer stretches together, but that quarterback is capable of throwing the ball against anybody that he's going to play, no matter what stadium he goes into. And they have a nice scheme. Anything else?
Yeah. Jack Powers had not played much college football at all, none on the defensive side before he got here. He had 3 pass breakups today. Is this a case of him kind of scraping off rust and getting more acclimated all the time?
It's a reclamation project. He goes to one program and it isn't a great fit, and they want him to play offensive line, and he sees value in finding another place, believed in himself enough. We needed more size and depth in the defensive line, so we've taught him defense again, taught him his assignments, and what's really fun, it's just how grateful he is to be here and grateful to be playing football. And his role keeps expanding because he just works his guts out in practice. And he's giving us another player that's capable on early downs of playing base defense, which is really helpful. But again, it's so nice to coach someone that is so appreciative to be here and not expecting anything other than just trying to earn a role. I like him a lot.